Hey, yo, welcome to the channel. We're back again, and today I wanted to talk about my team. I wanted to talk about Arsenal and the great performance that we had against Atletico Madrid. That was superb. That was one of the best games that we've played this season. Probably, you could say it's the best game that we have played this season, right? Hold on a second. That was the best game that Arsenal have played this season. I mean, taking into consideration the opponents that we were facing, Atletico Madrid, the manager, Diego Simeone, one of the best managers in the world, um, and how we played, like the goals we scored, the defensive solidity that we showed. Again, I think that was a superb performance. And that's what I wanted to focus on today. And there's something very interesting that's happening, and I want to talk about. You know, I don't know how Arsenal fans are going to feel about this, but maybe it's yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But looking at the game, of course, like we went into the break 0-0, and it looked like it was going to be like a tough game to win. I mean, like we played well, we created a lot of chances, we had a lot of shots, and like pre-game, it was billed as this, defensive team versus defensive team. One team, I saw this crazy meme where Atletico Madrid players were building a wall in front of their goal, and Arsenal players were directing a bus to be parked right in front of their goal. Like, that's the kind of game people thought this was going to be, right? And to be fair, I also thought the same because I've always known Atletico Madrid as one of the best defensive teams in Europe. Some seasons they have been the best defensive team in Europe, and Arsenal have been the best defensive team probably for the past 3 seasons now, right? We've only conceded 3 goals all season. We haven't conceded a goal in the Champions League at all. 2 open play goals, 1 from a set piece. That's incredible, right? Those are incredible numbers for Arsenal. After what is it now? I think that's 3 goals conceded in only 12 matches. So that's crazy. 9 clean sheets. So like the build up to the game was, Atletico Madrid, this wall and against another wall. What's gonna give? Who's gonna take the game, right? And so like going into the like halftime break, we were looking good. We created chances. We had shots on goal. Our players were creating, opportunities. Eze had a good first half. He was controlling the game. He was creating chances. He had a shot that, and like it went off the bar. It was unlucky for him that it didn't go in because he completely had the goalkeeper wrong-footed. Jan Oblak. And coming out of the second half, in the second half, we completely dominated the game. I think, firstly, like from the back, Raya in the first half had an absolute mess. I don't know what he was thinking, but that's the thing that's probably keeping David Raya from being the elite goalkeeper. Like when we talk about goalkeepers like Courtois, Allison, Donnarumma, those kind of that's what's keeping him from going there because he will do certain things like that. He left his line. He was so far. He was out on the left. He was in the left back position, and when he got there, I thought, okay, he was just going to play it simple, play it for touch, or like kick it long, and he tried to play around. Atletico Madrid got the ball, and Julian Alvarez almost scored from an unlikely angle. He could have. That's how good I think Julian Alvarez is, especially his tech. He's really good. But anyway, I think Gabriel and Saliba, solid as always. Even when facing a striker as really like as world class as Julian Alvarez, I think they handled him well. They played well together. Jurien Timber is as ex. Jurien Timber is definitely making a case now to be, you know, the best right back in world football. I mean, you're talking about Ashraf Hakimi, Reece James, Jurien Timber. I don't know who else, man. Like those three are probably the best three right backs in world football right now. I've always said when fit, Reece James is the best right back in the world. I stand by that. I still think he is, right? And he's had a really long period of sustained fitness for him, so that's really good for Reece James. Coming in at left back was Miles Lewis Kelly. He played well. There was a point in the second half after we scored the goal where I was like, he's letting Atletico Madrid in, and I think now it's time to sub him off for Calafiori. Right after the goal, Julian Alvarez played a ball through for Simeone, and Simeone got there in behind Miles Lewis Kelly. Thankfully, Gabriel was there to cover, blocked the shot out for a corner, right? And like I even tweeted, get Calafiori on now. But after that, then he created the goal for Martinelli, right? Zubimendi was excellent. He controlled the game. He had a few passes that were just so sublime, bro. There was this turn, like control turn and flick over the defense that got Gyökeres through. And Gyökeres, he was stretching and got his shot blocked, but the play was outstanding. He was the one who played the ball over the top. I can't remember who was going in. I think that was Martinelli. Yeah, I think that was Martinelli who went in on goal. That was brilliant. And Declan Rice is Declan Rice. I think Declan Rice is so good right now. His engine, he's like when I just think of Declan Rice, I just think of his engine like horse like engine, right? He just runs all game. He covers every blade of grass. He's technically really good. His long passing, um, his free kicks, his set pieces goes without saying. He might be one of the best set piece takers in the world right now because he just puts it on such a plate for those defenders to attack. And I think a lot of other teams have now taken on Arsenal's approach to saying, look, set pieces are an opportunity for us to score goals. Why aren't we focusing more on set pieces as a way to score goals? As a way to be a threat. And now we're seeing teams incorporate the long throw, the set piece routines. But before we were called Stoke City FC. Set piece FC, ole ole. And now all the other teams are doing the same thing as Arsenal now. You know what I mean? Now it's not set piece FC no more. But hey, I get it. I get it. Like, copying someone else is a way to compliment them, right? So, but the second half was much better in terms of how we threatened. Gabriel again got the goal. In the past, I think since 2020, Gabriel has had 20 goal involvements as a defender. That's great. That's I think he leads as for defenders, right? And the ball in from Declan Rice was so it is so soft, so pinpoint. Gabriel just ran in, attacked it, and scored a beautiful, beautiful header past Jan Oblak. And then he created no, was it the second goal? No, sorry. He didn't create the second goal. The second goal was when Zubimendi played the ball with his left over the defense again. Gabriel Martinelli running in, and then he crossed it in the box. It was a scrappy goal by Gyökeres, but because of the form that he's been in terms of like scoring goals, he's been playing well, but he hasn't been scoring goals. I think he needed that. And I'm telling you right now, right? I don't care when Kai Havertz returns or Gabby Jesus. I like both of them. Our number one striker is Gyökeres, bro. I'm telling you right now, let's not get it twisted. Let's get it right. Our number one striker is Victor Gyökeres because the things that he does in the box, Kai Havertz isn't doing. Jesus, maybe Jesus, but in a different way. But Jesus can't stay fit, and he's not as strong as Gyökeres. I think Gyökeres offers Arsenal a different threat. He's always going to be in the box. He's always going to be a threat for defenders scoring goals. And I just want him to stay there. I don't want I don't want to see my striker hovering outside the box because we've tried that, and we haven't won trophies, right? And so I think let's try and see where Gyökeres is going to lead us. Um, the second goal, the second goal was a beautiful goal. As I said earlier, I was thinking Miles Lewis Skelly off at this point, and then he had the turn and run through midfield. That's why that's why I think Calafiori should be our number one left back, with Miles Lewis Skelly being the second left back, but his main position is midfield. I'd love to see him more in midfield. I think there are games where you can rest Declan Rice and play Miles Lewis Skelly in midfield. Like if you have Zubi Mendy, Miles Lewis Skelly, and Eze, that could work. I could see that working in some games, like maybe like a really like a cup competition. You know what I mean? Like in the League Cup, maybe against not an easy team, but a team where we can rest players. You can rest Declan Rice. You know what I mean? And then maybe at left back, you could also have Nkapia. We also have Nkapia, bro. We have Pierre Nkapia, and he's back. He could play left back in some of those games. And then you have Miles Lewis Skelly in midfield. Just for that run alone, you saw the talent, you saw the physical attributes that he has to control the ball and move past players like experienced players like Koke and Conor Gallagher, bro. And then the pass that he played, it was so well weighted. Like he played it so beautifully in the path of Martinelli. He played it so well. Martinelli had multiple choices for what he could do. Hit it first time, he could take a touch and take on his defender. I mean, he decided to take the right decision to hit it first time, and that was a beautiful finish. But the goal belongs to Miles Lewis Skelly, really. Well, let me not say the goal belongs to Miles Lewis Skelly, but like a huge chunk of it is Miles Lewis Skelly. Just the drive from midfield, bro, incredible. And then Gabriel Magalhaes had an assisting for Victor Gyökeres was it third goal? Oh no, that was the fourth goal. Sorry, that was the fourth goal. It was just a brilliant game. Another corner, swinged out to the back post. Gabriel running to the back, heading it back into goal, and Gyökeres basically having a tap in, right? And so, like, the performance itself was a really dominant, great against another dominant team. Look, it wasn't so long. It was a few weeks ago. Atletico Madrid put five past Real. They put five past. Who did they beat? Atletico Madrid beat a Champions League. I think was it Fenerbahce, 5-1 in the first game of the Champions League. Bro, this is Atletico Madrid. They are good too, right? They are struggling in La Liga, and they have struggled in the past few years. But it's still Atletico Madrid. You don't want to mess around with them, right? So for us to do that, that was impressive. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about is, what's going on in the media with Arsenal being favourites for the Premier League, second favourites for the Champions League. Bro, I think people should stop and put the handbrakes on. It's so early. We are in October. We haven't even, gotten to November. There's still a really tough, period in the season the winter time, we'll still have, winter time where you have a lot of games coming up. It's cold, it's hard, you probably will be tired, maybe you'll lose concentration in some games. Let's pump the brakes. I'm hearing people talk about Gabriel Magalhaes as the best centre back in the world. Maybe on form this season, but wait a minute. Like, we have to kind of take one game at a time, right? We have a really tough game against Crystal Palace coming up this weekend. Let's see how that goes. That's a serious test. Especially because Liverpool will play before us, so they'll be wanting to win their game, put pressure on Arsenal. Can we win against Crystal Palace? It's a home game. We have to. You know what I mean? If we want to win the Premier League, if we want to go on a run, if we want to put pressure on Liverpool and Manchester City, we have to win games like Crystal Palace at home. No disrespect to Crystal Palace. They are a great team. I predicted that they would finish 6th this season. And that's a really high position for them. Right? So I have a lot of respect for Crystal Palace, the players they have, Mateta, Mark Gay, Munoz. They have really good players. The boy in midfield, what's his name? I forgot his name. He's excellent, right? He's going to move to a big club soon. I don't know if it's going to be next transfer window in the summer or in the next few years. He's going, right? Mark Gay has not signed his contract. They have excellent players, and they have an excellent coach. Oliver Glasner is a superb coach. So, but still, those kind of games, as tough as they are, you have to win those games. The Premier League doesn't care whether a game is tough or not. You just have to go collect 3 points to win the Premier League. That's all you have to do. But people should pump the brakes on Arsenal. Second favourites in the Champions League. Really? Bayern Munich are still there. Barcelona are there. Real Madrid are still there. Take it easy. Chill out. Gotta chill out with this talk. Gabriel is the greatest centre-back. Declan Rice is the number 1 midfielder in the league. Look, I might believe some of those things. I have to be honest. I might believe some of those things. But because I've seen Arsenal finish second 3 years in a row and come close in the Champions League, being knocked out in the semi-finals, I just don't want to talk about those things right now. It's so early. We have to wait and see how the season goes along. So that's the other thing that I wanted to talk about. Let's chill out. Let's take each game as it comes. Let's focus on the next thing. Let's not talk about Arsenal being the best team in Europe, blah blah blah, and all that nonsense. Anyway, remember, subscribe to the channel, like, comment down below. What do you think about Arsenal? Where do you think we'll finish? How far do you think we'll go in the Champions League? All those things. Share, turn on your notifications bell whenever we drop a video. And have a nice weekend, man. Awareness.